We're diving into a diplomatic visit that literally lit up a city's skyline, signaling something huge. The relationship between India and Japan, it's kicking into a whole new gear. And trust me, this is about way more than just trade deals. We're talking about a major strategic shift that could really define the future of Asia.
I mean, just look at that. It's not something you see every day. The famous Tokyo sky tree lit up in the colors of the Indian flag. It's a pretty incredible visual for a friendship that's being renewed with so much energy. But it really makes you wonder, why now? What's so special about this particular moment? Well, to get that, you've got to zoom out a bit, because this meeting isn't happening in a bubble. No, it's taking place on a global stage where, let's be honest, old friendships are getting a little shaky and new alliances are forming faster than we can keep track.
A historic inflection point. That's the phrase you keep hearing from experts and analysts. And it's because the timing here is absolutely everything. This isn't just another formal state visit. It's a strategic realignment happening at the exact moment when global politics and trade are feeling, well, pretty chaotic. So what's the real trigger here?
And here's the catalyst. You see, as India's relationship with the U.S. hits, let's say, a sour note, strained by new tariffs and just a general feeling of unpredictability, Japan is stepping right in. They're positioning themselves as a steadier anchor. It's that classic situation where as one door gets a little harder to open, another one, with a time-tested friend, swings wide open. This dynamic is a huge reason this visit is happening right now.
So, with that global picture in mind, let's dive into how this alliance is actually being renewed on the ground. Because Japan didn't just roll out the red carpet. Oh no. They sent a whole series of really powerful, symbolic messages that go way beyond your standard diplomatic playbook. The welcome was just packed with meaning. We already saw the sky tree, but picture this, the ancient Gayatri mantra, a sacred hymn, being played in the lobbies of Tokyo hotels. Then you had this incredibly vibrant reception from the Indian community living there, and a special presentation of a Daruma doll, a symbol of perseverance with deep Buddhist roots that actually trace all the way back to India. Every single one of these gestures was like a thread, weaving together this rich story of shared history and just deep mutual respect.
Now, what's so important to understand is that all this energy, it isn't brand new. It's really the payoff of a long-term vision. This whole thing arguably kicked off way back in 2007. That's when Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe gave this now famous speech about the confluence of the two oceans, where he first floated the idea of the Indo-Pacific and the Quad. So this latest visit with Prime Minister Ishiba, it's not the start of something. It's the moment where a nearly 2-decade-old strategic project hits the accelerator.
Okay, symbolism and grand strategy are great, but they only take you so far, right? So let's follow the money. Let's talk about the economic engine that's really powering this alliance. We're talking tech, trade, and literally trillions of yen. Just take a look at that number, $68 billion. That is what Japan has pledged to invest in India over just the next 10 years. To put that into perspective, that's bigger than the entire economy of some countries. It's a massive, monumental bet on India's future and its role as Japan's #1 partner. So where's all that cash actually going? Well, this isn't just one giant blank check. It's highly targeted money aimed at the most critical, future-focused industries. We're talking next-gen infrastructure, yep, like the famous bullet trains, a big push into green energy, deep digital partnerships, a flood of Japanese money for Indian startups, and this is a big one, cooperation on semiconductors and critical minerals. You know, the absolute building blocks of our entire modern world. This was Prime Minister Modi's big pitch, his central message to Japan's top CEOs. He was basically saying, don't just come to India to sell to our market, come to India to build, to manufacture, and then sell from India to the rest of the world. It's a really smart pitch that frames this partnership as a launchpad, especially to markets in the global south. And guess what? That pitch is absolutely working. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look at the data from Japan's own trade organization. A whopping 80% of Japanese companies already in India are planning to expand. And maybe even more important, 75% of them say they're already profitable. So this isn't just wishful thinking. For Japanese businesses on the ground, this is a proven money-making reality. But really, this partnership is about so much more than just dollars and yen. It's about combining the fundamental strengths of both of these countries to actually build the future together. It's about fusing Japan's incredible technology with the immense human talent needed to bring it to life. You can think of it as a high-tech handshake with three main parts. First, they're teaming up on AI and digital infrastructure. Next, they're literally reaching for the stars, with Japan's space agency partnering up on India's next lunar mission, Chandrayaan 5. And finally, and this might be the most important part, they're working together to secure their supply chains for chips and minerals. Because in today's world, let's face it, chips are power and supply chains are sovereignty. This right here, this is the secret sauce. This is the core synergy of the whole partnership. On one hand, you have Japan, an undisputed tech powerhouse with some of the deepest scientific muscle on the planet. And on the other, you have India, a talent powerhouse with a massive, skilled young population and the sheer scale to roll out big ideas globally. It is the perfect marriage of excellence and scale, of technology and pure human talent. And while all the big trade deals get the headlines, maybe the most ambitious target of all is a human one. The two countries have set a goal for 500,000 people-to-people exchanges. We're talking students, cultural programs, and even bringing 50,000 skilled Indian workers to Japan to help support its aging economy. This isn't just a top-down government alliance. It's about building a shared workforce for a shared future. So let's zoom back out to the 30,000-foot view. What does all of this, the symbols, the money, the tech, the people, what does it all mean for the rest of the world? Well, the answer is pretty simple. This partnership is explicitly designed to shape the future of Asia.
Prime Minister Modi himself said it, and he didn't mince words. This isn't just about what's good for India or what's good for Japan. It's a shared vision to define what an Asian century looks like, one they hope is built on shared values like democracy and peace. It's a really bold statement of intent for the whole world to hear.
And these are the strategic pillars holding that vision up. It's about making the Quad alliance with the US and Australia even stronger. It's about ensuring a free and open Indo-Pacific. It's about building supply chains that don't depend on just one country. And yeah, it's about creating a powerful counterbalance to China's growing influence in the region. This is what India's strategy of multi-alignment looks like in action in our messy, multipolar world. And all of that leaves us with one final big question. This whole thing, this visit, it was sparked by global turbulence, but it ended up accelerating a partnership with really deep roots and an incredibly ambitious future. It feels like a clear sign that the world's centers of gravity are shifting, so you have to ask, as the old alliances we took for granted begin to fray, are we watching the dawn of a new kind of world order, one that's increasingly shaped and maybe even led by the powers of Asia?